Alright, I'm gonna go over the Contingent Esports case study, which happened on patch 14.9. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do this in just one sequence because everything in game essentially just happens within like those speaking like in between rounds and stuff like that. So I wanted everything to kind of be a one shot, one go, just because I'm not really gonna have as much time to study it, go over it, and stuff like that. The only time I'd be able to do so is before the game, which happens with speculation and whatnot. Um, so in terms of breaking down team comps, um, the general game plan of I'm gonna start with blue side. So actually, there's some things I want to address about the blue side draft. One, I think Darius B1 is a mistake. It's a champion that can be countered and his win condition shut down. He's a champion that really wants to play for the early game, and champions that nullify that early game, such as Ornn, which is what gets picked up, really shuts down the point of Darius. Not saying that Darius can't win it, but it does become immensely difficult to for Darius to play through his game plan when something like Ornn is picked up. The second thing on the blue side is I think Graves is a bit of a mistake. Um, if you are going to be playing for a champion that has a strong top side win con, then having something that could maybe support it would be significantly better. When I see Ornn and Skarner, Graves really isn't the go-to. This is on patch 14.9, and as of patch 14.9, Graves doesn't have as much tank shreddability as he has in previous seasons. Where he at the time, if I remember correctly, you go something like opportunity into collector, um, and then afterwards you can either flex into more lethality or more pen depending on your needs, but having that opportunity collector 1-2 does make it really hard. Yes, you get tank shredding capabilities if you do make it to third item before they do, but again that's lead dependent, right? That's more of a what if, and that's not, you don't draft up based on what ifs. Um, I don't think the Lux is bad in any capacity. I think that's a solid blind. Like, is it the best in slot blind? Probably not, but most of the time you end up drafting towards player comfort as well, which is something you can maybe say for the Graves. Maybe he's more comfortable on the Graves as counter to Skarner because Skarner goes into you. I couldn't really say. I do think that the Graves, both the Darius and the Graves, are suboptimal picks. Um, and then as for mid, I think mid and bot, I think they're perfectly fine picks. Um, the Ash Braum synergy is really good at shutting down lanes and even being offensive in them as well. Um, So as for the actual team's general game plan, I think this team has a like kind of a siege comp style, um, or like a poke comp, however you want to put say that. And essentially, what I think that this team does really well is that it has really strong zone control. So if they're the kind of team that gets onto objectives first and is able to play with poke and their abilities and basically kind of force other teams off of the objectives because they just can't find an engage point onto it. It's really good. So, for example, Alistar tries to WQ in, Braum just hits ult. Now Ali's abilities are pretty useless. Same thing you can say for Skarner, or even you can interrupt Ornr with Braum ult or Ash ult or Lux Q even. So there's a lot of opportunity to block the tools that red side has. But the thing is, you kind of have to be there first to be able to set up that zone control. You need vision lines. You need to have them play into you, right? Because if they're not playing into you, they can just leave, right? Which is often the case when, um, when we have something like they're already on the dragon first, for example, they can just pull the dragon out, and then all of a sudden they're out of range for your poke. Um, and then the draft on the red side, I think Ornn is an amazing pick into Darius. You kind of instantly shut that down. Um, Skarner feels like you doubled down on weak side top. No, sorry, not the weak side top. On drafting tanks. I think it's okay to go for either you decide here that you're gonna have a tank in the jungle or tank in support, Um, which I don't think Skarner's bad. I think Skarner's a perfectly fine pick here. It might not be like the highest win rate or best in slot, but again, you like you draft based on player comfort most of the time. It's why like even when we have terrible Lee Sin metas, we still see Lee Sin get picked up time and time again. Um, but I will say that I don't have any issue with Skarner. Same thing with Azir. You get to sit back and the moment that you pick up the Azir here, I think you've settled into a protect comp. Um, just because you have two really good tanks that have great peeling capabilities, or front to back capabilities, and you have a essentially what is a hyper carry in the mid lane. Um, and then in R4, you end up picking up the Jinx, which kind of just leans more into that protect comp identity. And then as for R5, I would have really liked to see something like a Lulu here. Emilio is pretty good as actually I don't know about actually Emilio would have been fine, because you get to cleanse either Ash ult, um, Braum stun or Lux Q. I would have really liked Emilio here because then it kind of I don't want to say it negates the use of cleanse because you'd probably end up taking cleanse into this comp anyways, but that kind of gives you a second cleanse, which is going to matter a lot into blue side. So I think Emilio or a Lulu would have been a far superior choice than Alistar. I think Alistar just kind of plays into what Braum wants to deal with anyways, which is just melee supports that just run at him. So as for the actual team's general game plan, play for late, front to back is where you want to be. Um, if if for whatever reason their team's poke isn't enough to actually push your tanks off of um the main entry points into a dragon or a herald or a baron, then essentially your carries just get to melt it for free as long as one of the other tanks are taking it, which is probably going to be Skarn, right? Ali and Ornn basically just play as nuisances. They hit their Qs, they hit their Qs, they E away from any like massive skill shots or anything like that. Um, and then, of course, Alistar is great at just delaying time, just Wing people off of him in a way, um, and has the ultimate to basically just stall for time in that choke. As for runes, I mean, assuming that we're playing for the Darius WinCon, um, which is arguable. I think that Graves can kind of go either way. Um, Either you choose to go for a um, either Conqueror and um, Resolve on Darius, and just kind of play for that side lane split push. Isn't ideal for Darius, but can definitely be done. Um, Especially with the Stridebreaker Trinity, or just Stridebreaker in general, because now it has the Tiamat passive. Um, Actually, was that 14.9? I'm not 100% sure. Unfortunately, that is something. The specific patch note of a champion change isn't up to memory. Stridebreaker change. Obviously, this wouldn't like really be like knowing the patch history wouldn't be as applicable. I mean, the specific patch date of something wouldn't be as applicable. Once it's changed, it's changed. Cost analysis. No, I don't need the cost analysis. I need the patch history. Uh, okay, 14.3. Okay, I'm safe. I knew it was a past patch. I just don't know how recently that is. Didn't know it was 14.9. That is one of the few things I'll look up during this. Um, So yeah, you're gonna either go conquer sorcery. If you choose to go ghost, you can take the celerity water walking or celerity nimbus cloak on Darius. As for Graves, you're gonna go fleet inspiration, no doubt about that. Lux, you're probably gonna go comet. Ash, you're gonna go PTA. Braum, you're probably gonna go after. No, you're probably gonna go guardian on Braum here. Um, Even though I don't think the poke is like insane, I just don't. I just can't imagine a world where aftershock is like as useful, especially because your CC is going to be procced at range, anyways, because of Ash Graves. So I don't think aftershock is as useful as Guardian per se. So now we're gonna go into the case study. Okay. We've already wasted our abilities here. Let me just quickly look at the rest of the map state here. Okay, our jungler's bot side. Um, four. I'm gonna say no. The reason I want to say no is because we can get a slow push going. Um, if he does back with no issues. Whereas if you do start a fight, your jungler is in the bot side. And if I remember correctly, they don't have any idea on where Graves is. So if that pushes up, hold on. Yeah, they have no idea where Graves is. I think, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say they have no idea where Graves is. Simply one, we have the missing right there, but also it's been a while since we've seen him. He hasn't had a recall. He's at significantly less CS than Skarner, despite both of them having one death. Um, and Darius is already very fed. So even if you do manage to like stop his back, that wave's just gonna slowly push into him, and if you overextend, Graves is gonna be able to kill you, because at that point you've wasted most of your cooldowns. They might come back up again before Graves comes, but even then, that's resources expended, to stop a back, and even like without the back, he still has more gold than you, um, at that current point in time. So I wouldn't have stopped that back. Is Dragon the correct call from Red? Let's see. No. I'm gonna say, yeah, my gut's telling me no. Um, the reason being is that Skarner's already pretty low. Lux has a health advantage over um Azir. Both of them have ults, but I think that without the flash, it's way more dangerous for Azir to be using his ult unless it's as a peel tool. And like against Ashe Lux Graves, I don't think it's a great peel tool. I'm gonna say with 5 seconds left on Braum, it's very likely that as like Ashe was recently killed. Um, Jinx is nowhere near drag as well. So I'm gonna say that like realistically speaking, Graves and Ashe are probably way closer to the drag than Jinx is. And considering how low Skarner is at the moment, I think this is a bad call. I don't think Alistar is doing anything wrong by getting vision. Um, but I think that Skarner should have backed immediately after this play happened, so that way he can come at the same time as Jinx if he wanted to go and take Dragon. Because like realistically speaking, your Jinx is level 5 to Ashe is level 6. Ashe has already used ult. So if you come up at the same time as Jinx, Jinx can maybe hit 6. I'm assuming it's going to be around the same, considering that Ashe does have, I mean, sorry, that Jinx has one less death than Ashe, despite the CS difference. So I'm going to assume it's pretty close. Um, both of them have flash up. Yeah, it's pretty much equal in that regard. Oh yeah, lethal tempo was around back here. Um, so sorry, yeah, sorry. Ashe should have gone lethal tempo. My apologies. I forgot I got removed. So okay, so we've actually Oh, I probably should have seen the whole clip. Give me a second. I yapped a little too hard. We pretty much went back to full HP on thing. Okay, we're caught on vision by the Ash E. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna say no. Azir wants to back. Our Jinx has a massive wave that she shouldn't move off of. So even though we got our health back, it's not great. Yeah, because like, do I have my annotation thing? I feel like my annotation thing would be so good. Uh, Screen marker and recorder. Can I bring that up? Perfect. Okay, so sorry. I hope that this wave kind of pushes up, but okay. So right here we have a massive wave. This wave is probably worth more gold than dragon. Just straight up value alone. We're already on vision because one, there's a control word here. Um, and our Azir in a second is about to start backing. Yeah. So like that split second where your Azir starts to back, that tells me that he's probably sitting on a lot of gold. Right? So this guy's probably sitting on a lot of gold. Because he just pushed out the wave, he wants to back. Resources were expended. Um, so he's probably sitting on resources. So now this gold deficit, right? We don't know where Lux is. We don't know if Lux back. That's a question. We don't know where Lux is, right? Right? Lux could have easily just went around. You don't know. Um, right? They do have this marked, so they know this vision's here. She could have walked around. It's a very plausible thing to do. And on top of that, we're gonna be losing a lot of gold here, right? So we're at level 5, right? And we're gonna abandon this wave to go do dragon, right? So we're a level down. We are gold down on our mid, and we're already on vision, so they know we're here. And we're missing one, two, two flashes, and ignite and ghost. So we're about 4 sums down, and this one is kind of non-existent, and this one is going to be used on dragon. Right? We realistically only have 2 summoner spells in play, whereas they have 1, 2, assuming he gets there before the fight's entirely over. And yeah, and we're equal on sums, but sorry, we're gonna have this ult. This ult, we have no ult here. We have a 0 ult, which doesn't mean anything if you get blown up immediately when you go in. And then we have no ults on either of the ADC or support. I don't think this is a good drag. I think it's doable for sure. I just don't think it's the best play because the reality is that this is probably happening right after a play. We're sitting on gold here. We bought on Jinx, I imagine. I would hope so, but we're gonna be missing out on a massive wave. Um, and then Alistar is definitely not backed, and our Azir hasn't backed. So we're at a pretty massive gold deficit, and on top of that, we can be outplayed pretty easily. Um, but I think that if immediately after whatever play bot happened, Skarner backed, then this would definitely be a lot more doable, right? Even though these guys are on it first and they're doing it right now, I think it would have been a lot more doable if these were at full health bars, cooldowns were back, and gold was actually spent. That was a lot longer just because I didn't actually watch the full video. I just started yapping, but I think my conclusion's the same nonetheless. What's the sequence that Red needs to do to close the gold gap? Ooh. Spoiler alert. Come on. Alright. So, starting at the beginning, we're at a pretty large gold deficit. One thing I noticed from earlier is that the CS gap on bot lane's gone down a little bit. Um, hmm. I don't want to say we're approximately even. It looks like to me we're uh about 1K gold down actually. 1K deficit on our EDC. Um this actually might be a bit closer. I can't actually tell just right off the item amount. 700, 850, 900. We're sitting somewhere close to 2K. 2K, we're probably sitting at like 2K something, and she's sitting at approximately the same. So maybe Lux hasn't gone on her back yet, maybe? I imagine. So Lux might be sitting on some gold at the moment. And then as for jungle, yeah, this guy definitely hasn't backed, for sure. Just look at it and looking at his items. So this gold depth, can't really calculate the gold deficit there. And then as for top side, we don't know where Darius is. I'm gonna assume that we're on the top. Okay, so the play for this team is to, I would say, lane swap. Um, right? Because if you lane swap here, right, and the enemy bot lane stays, right, you have Ash Braum. You have Ash Braum down here, and you have Ornn, right? Ornn has TP up, right? So he can stay in this lane. No problem. Big check mark. Right? Ornn can stay in this lane. This lane's actually pushing up, so this is a great time. Um, and these guys are actually also pushing up, so that's good as well. So there's a lane swap opportunity right there. Darius loses a lot of strength when he's playing against an Ash Braum. Darius almost entirely functions off move speed, and both of his cooldowns, both his flash and ghost are down, so he's going to have a terrible time into Ash Braum. Oh no, sorry. Sorry. I was saying Ash Braum. I meant Jinx Ali. Just because he's just going to be harassed. Like every time he just walk up to actually trade any damage, he just gets harassed by Jinx, and Ali will just W him away, or even just WQ him in place while Jinx either reads him or slows him or does something of the sort. Um, and that will allow you to get the top plates because at this point in time, the top lane plate change hasn't come through, so they haven't increased the actual durability. This is only very slightly stronger than this, right? You will get them at approximately the same rate, especially because this wave's about to crash in, right? This is probably gonna go to 3 anyways, right? This is also technically still at 4, and so is this one. Um, and then because you have your bot side up here, you actually have 4 on the top side for Rift Herald, while they only have 3. So essentially, your what? Let's say 3K gold lead, about, let's say, 1K, maybe 1.5K of that is still down here. 1.5K of your gold lead is down here, right? So now this drops significantly lower. And that doesn't even account for the fact that you're not going to have 2 of these abilities. Oh, actually no, Ash Ult is going to be up for Rift. Right? I don't, are the grubs taken? Yeah, grubs are coming up soon too. So you actually can get the second thing of grubs, so that way they will actually lose a lot of their siege power, which they get with Lux, Lux Ashen Graves. So that's going to be really nice as well. This is going to help stop the bleeding. Getting the grubs, getting the herald is going to help stop the bleeding if you lane swap. I'm going to watch the rest of it, but that's just like my preliminary thoughts. Just off of this screenshot alone. I don't think anything like really changes, because we're just talking about sequence of events. I think is Skarner pushing his luck? I don't think Skarner's pushing his luck. Yeah, I think Skarner's pushing his luck here. Actually, right here. The moment Ornn backs, he just leaves. Cause surprise, surprise, we don't know where Darius is. We know Graves is here, and we don't know where Lux is. Right? He can be collapsed on pretty easily. And then you just have even more bleed. Right? Because, like, you go back here. It's actually safe to assume that she backed. But even then, you don't know. It's not a guarantee. Right? We're talking about a 10-second sequence. She could be sitting in this bush. This bush has never has vision on it. Right? So yeah, that is my take on that. And what can red side do instead of the skirmish? What was blue side did correct? I'm assuming that is what did blue side do correctly. So let's see. Actually, let's play the full clip because I feel like I just always miss it. I always feel like a gap before I see the full clip. Oh god, we get completely. Yeah. All right, so is that it? Oh, okay. No, it's not. Oh god, why are we TPing? This is a lost fight. Oh yeah. Okay. So I want to go back a little bit. So one, we're sitting on vision, right? We know this because like they're pretty much all moving towards us. We know Graves is here, right? They're moving towards Dragon. That's the whole reason we're moving there. I'm gonna presume that they knew that they wanted to do Dragon. Otherwise, why wouldn't they shove it up this wave? So then, like Alistar just gets poked out, and Jinx does a thing where she goes back and forth, right? Um, back and forth, and that indecisiveness loses DPS, right? Um, the fact that we hesitated on actually trading, even though we weren't even committing to an all-in, is why I'll, we don't trade as much HP here. Um, yeah, we barely traded anything at all, which is probably a testament to the fact that we are 500. It's at 14. That's not that bad actually. Um, but our jungler is choosing to take Herald at this point, right? If we know that they're gonna just rally onto here, we should just look to push out the wave, right? Make sure that, or create a freeze right here so that the way they lose CS of some kind. They have to have some kind of trade off going on here rather than just us walking in. Um, so I don't even think Alistar should have walked up there in the first place. And at this point, right, we are at a massive gold left, right? And then because Ocean Drake is dead, we know that Graves is in the area. So the moment they start walking up to us, this should be a surefire. Like this is just a sign that Graves is here, without a doubt. This teleport is actually comical. It should have happened way before. Um, and that it creates a significant problem. For the skirmish. Blue side set up keyboards, right? Um, I think the only place where they probably could have put an extra word was at mid side, but with the gold advantage they have, I don't think it's entirely necessary. Yeah, it's nice, but like you don't need it. Because they're walking through mid brush anyways. The chances that they're going to actually perfectly go through this vision here, right? Especially without like pushing up this way first, is actually impossible, right? Because either A, you go in here and you're caught on the minions actually walking through the mid side, um, or they're pushing up and obviously they're going through the mid side, right? Um, so the vision line's good. Um, I think that the Graves did the right choice by wrapping around. Yes, he's caught on this ward here. I believe he is. I could be wrong, actually. Oh wait, it's his ward. My bad. Yeah. Um, sorry. He got caught on like he walked through a vision line that he knew he had, and because of that, he was able to hold this position here, which means that Jinx and Ali can't walk without taking damage from Graves, right? No matter what, because like from I think like this range here is Graves' range, right? Because he can walk up and yeah, he might take a tower shot or something, but you're gonna get traded on by Ash and Braum. Oh, sorry, they're on top. So Graves had good pathing, and they should have just backed off immediately. I think they shouldn't have ever actually taken. I don't think like within the skirmish itself, um, they could have done anything. Like, they're just getting their wallet slapped at them. But I think it was entirely avoidable in the first place to even go through the skirmish. Wait, there's more? Wait, so we doubled down on it? I don't understand why we doubled down on it. Yeah, we fully doubled down on it. That's crazy actually. You lose your ADC and you think, yeah, they got both carries up and a TP. Let's double down on everything. That's crazy, actually. I mean, I guess like the rest of blue side actually responded with their TPs, which is like it sometimes doesn't happen. So you can count that as like what blue side did correct. But on all honesty, I think it was like a lot of cases of just like red side blundering how that should go down. I think you should just cut off actually I want to reopen it. I feel like you just cut off the yeah, we completely abandoned Herald. Were we not like setting up to do Herald here? Do we not we know Graves is there. So why don't we just take Herald? Huh. Okay. That's an interesting one. Oh, I sorry. I guess it's like what can Red Side do instead of skirmish? Take the Herald. My bad. My bad. I went into like what did Red Side do wrong? Not what could Red Side do instead of taking the skirmish. Herald is the answer. Um, Potential sequence for Blue Side to accelerate the game state in their favor. Okay. So we got two dragons. Do we have drag timers? No. Oh wait, we do. Okay. So we just okay. So they just took one of the drakes. Um. Hmm. Sorry, I'm looking at this like really thoroughly. Both are happening within 4 minutes. So both Dragon Baron are coming up within 4 minutes. Um. I would love to know Golden Pocket for these champions. I honestly couldn't tell you just at a nice glance. Just because I don't know who got what tower plates. But we've opened up bot side, and top side is perfectly fine. All right. I mean, the top side's completely dead, and we have about 30 seconds. Oh no, 20. I would probably just rotate to mid and take this mid tower because like nobody can contest it, right? We have two missing TPs, um, two missing TPs, and there's no shot that Jinx can actually go and handle that. That's not happening, and Jinx is already moving up bot anyways. I would rotate mid, take this tower just to open up the map a lot more, right? Because now you can put pressure on all three, right? Very specifically top lane, actually, is probably what I would do next. I would rotate after the kills, rotate mid, take this tower, and then after that, um, I'm assuming yeah we have no camps. We have no camps, so we're probably sitting on a lot of gold actually. This is right after a fight, as you can see here. So then yeah, you go up, you move up, you take this tower, you get your recall, and then you put pressure on topside, where you'd have like I don't know, you'd have Ash Braum and let's say Darius or Lux, one of them, right? One of them. You don't want them to be taking too much on the opposite sides of the map. Um, Actually, you'd probably leave like one of them here, right? So, let's say, both don't have like a global presence, but I maybe Lux, I feel like Lux, just because getting gold onto Darius is nice, right? This is the guaranteed gold, right? Whereas Lux could possibly be collapsed on, zoned in on, and to be fair, Lux has a lot more safety than Darius. So I would probably do Braum, Darius, and then you'd have Graves here, right, to zone anybody off, right? Or you have Braum with Graves, one or the other, right? While the other two take this tower here. So you basically be cracking open the map after that. And I did the thing where I say everything at the beginning of the clip and not watch the full thing. Okay, so we already have people moving up. This is great. We've already started moving up here. That's amazing. Okay, we've kind of done it. Right? Like, we have, I went back here. Actually, who backed? So both, yeah, Ash, Braum, and, yeah, Ash and Braum backed. When this is, like, could have been the Taken Tower, to be honest. They don't even have vision, actually. So you would have walked through here, no vision, and gotten this tower, guaranteed. And then you can back. Okay. Breakdown Baron, discuss setup, warning, let's go both. What's a team fight? Okay. Okay, setup. Let's see. Okay. So right off the bat, we've accounted for all of them being on this side. Um, that's something to keep in mind. Let's quickly see here. Is anybody sitting on any major gold? Jinx is sitting on a lot of gold. That's definitely noteworthy. But let's keep going. That's over here. Oh wait, whose setup are we looking at? Breakdown blue side objective control. Okay. Um, I would probably have Braum, maybe Sweeper. Did he sweeper earlier? 1 second, I want to look. I don't think he sweepered at all. Yeah, he did that, and then he didn't sweeper at all behind him, right? Which is why this sword is here. Didn't even sweeper this bush, to be honest. I probably would have. Oh no, Graves is doing it actually right now. Sorry, that's something I didn't notice. So Graves is sweeping this bush, so I guess they just ended up just missing this ward. It happens. Not the end of the world, but I would have liked to see a sweeper happen, at least in this area, right? You can at least cover the TP flank. That would be nice. Or like at least one ward here, or maybe actually no, a ward here would have been nice. Probably what I would have done. Right? Because like this ward here, it covers inside the Baron, but it actually doesn't cover like anything of the river on the side. Right? I feel like you could either move the control ward here, to cover this up, and then have like sweeper up in here. You have options, more or less. I don't think that the current like thing is terrible. I think it's good. Um, but there's obviously just like improvements to be made. Um, like if my team were to do this kind of setup, I would be okay with it. Like it wouldn't be the end of the world for me, personally. I think this ward actually is a little useless. But that again, that's just me. Yeah, that ward is actually placed pretty recently, so it does look a little bit useless. Okay, we started to push up mid. That looks good. I don't. I felt like they just sat in the bush for like way too long. They could have taken that scuttle earlier. And then yeah, we catch that one ward. That's great, amazing. And then team fight. Team fight. So we saw them go into this bush, right? We all saw them. Like this is like a fairly well known. All of these guys saw them go into this bush. Skarner should not be walking face first into this at all. Like he should be just walking with his team, right? Because his like even though he actually isn't doing too bad right now, um, like having him is crucial because one you just instantly lose the smite fight, um, if you don't, yeah. There's your flash, then you get stunned. That's a decent Ash ult. I would have saved the Braum ult actually. Yeah, I would have saved the Braum ult for here. What was Darius doing? Yeah. So Jinx gets a free hit because we don't have any threat on this at all. Now, like, see, now we're front to backing. This is exactly what I was talking about. Where that was the win con for bot. I mean, red side where they get a front to back. We poked out Skarner. That's it. Right? It's not. I don't think he has a Warmogs. Correct? Go back. Yeah, no Warmogs. Right? We're not in a Warmogs meta. So the poke is actually meaningful, and he has to recall. So you guys could just go into Baron, and then you have a 5v5. Right? Either Lux or Ashe keeps on poking them out. Okay, so we lose Darius for no reason. Skarner gets a free back. We used Ashe ult, we used Lux ult, we used Braum ult. We used Graves ult as well, actually. And they still have Azir and Alistar ult. So we should not be trying to fight this. Even though we have the bigger gold wallet, a lot of that gold was on Darius. Right? At this point in the game, gold leagues aren't great. Oh god, wait, what the fuck is it? Cooldown. Hold on. Yeah, I was looking at that. Okay, my bad. Lux ult moment. I was even looking at Lux. So that's a nice catch, actually. I think that ult does a lot, actually, to push off Azir. I don't actually get to see the time, because I know they wanted me to see at something at 2:30, something like that. Okay. Yeah, we keep poking, that's good. Nice. Yeah, we're getting them on the back pedal. We're just poking, we're not committing to anything, that's really good. That's what you want to see. Oh, yeah, that Lux ult, actually. That Lux ult CDR is ridiculous. I will stand by that. It's really hard to keep track of in a fight because of how short it is. It's long enough that, like, if she uses it, then you can, like, actually try to take advantage of it. But it's also short enough that it's like, you gotta keep it in mind if you stop fighting for just a moment. Okay, we should not be fighting without our carries here. What are we thinking? Oh! Okay, we take off Skarner. Oh, that's ambitious from Grace. And, oh, that Lux ult, those Lux ults are really putting in that work. But you see how, like, I want to point this out, just, like, quickly. But I don't think the Graves dashing in was a great idea. Look how far both Jinx is, and then Azir is, like, over here somewhere. I don't know why he's not on the map, but, he's over there. And we're just way too far for any actual meaningful damage. Like, look, we're ulting and dragging her over, but into what? An Ornn? That's not gonna do help. So now just like Skarner gets blown up. Um, and we play a really nice like distance game, right? This is actually I can kind of see why Graves did this. Get the wall bang right there. That's a lot of damage, and they're really close, so they're gonna take the full brunt of that attack. Yeah, and that, again, that Lux ult is just ridiculous. Jinx is pretty much out of this fight because of it, and now they have no damage. They have no carries. Azir's there, but like, you know, you're at a 5v2. Oh, why are we going in again? We're just getting caught by these fucking Lux abilities. Okay, we should just turn off the Baron now. Yeah, you're not killing that Ornn. That's what we do. Nice. Alright. So post game. Ooh. Oh boy, analyze builds. Alright. So Malignance I like. Okay, wait. Hold on. I did say I like Stridebreaker here, but he did have the really early lead. Um so Triforce was fine with the early lead. I think it's the correct decision to push your lead with something like Triforce, where it's like completely damage oriented, rather than something that has utility like Stridebreaker. Especially when your top side is Ornn, Skarner, Azir, where the Stridebreaker isn't going to put in as much work because they're just going to be in your face anyways. Um, I think Trinity is the right idea when you have a lead like that. Sterix, decent second. I don't have any issue with Darius's build, other than the fact that it's 27 minutes and we only have 2 items. Is what it is. We're sitting against something like a 200-ish CS? Approximately? I could be wrong. Graves build, I would have preferred an opportunity first rather than Youmuu's. It's really good in the competitive setting, and the damage outweighs the mobility from Youmuu's. You're gonna be playing a front to back anyways. Like, your mobility isn't gonna matter because Jinx is just autoing you, and realistically, if you run into Azir, he's just gonna push you back with his ult. So that one-shot damage and that poke potential, or that, yeah, essentially those two things matter way more. Youmuu's doesn't provide as much damage. I know people like Youmuu's, and I understand why people like Youmuu's. Like, the roaming potential is great, and the ability to pick off opponents, but in a competitive setting, opportunity is just going to be far superior. Collector and Lord Doms, I hope those are second. I'm imagining that they're second. Are probably best in slot in this game. And then Ashe build, go Kraken, Infinity Edge. Lord Doms, no issues there. Actually, I don't know if this is I don't know if this was when Try was good. Possibly. It's 14.9. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. This wasn't when Triforce was good. So that's solid. And then Braum itemization. I think the Mikhails is bad. I don't think the Mikhails is necessary. Like, Azir's a knock-up. Skarner is like, the Skarner suppress is important, I guess. But like, Ornn's a knockup, or everything Ornn has is knockups too. So I think like saving Mikhails very specifically for Skarner ult is weird. I think there has to be like a reactionary thing where Ashe got caught by a Skarner ult and it was just a call to get Mikhails. I don't think it's best in slot here. I think Knight's Vow is better, especially when you have the lead like this. So yeah, those itemizations are good. I don't know where the healing is coming from that we need Thornmail. I don't know why we wouldn't just go Randuin's instead. Or just Frozen Heart. I feel like those are just superior items in comparison to the Thornmail. The anti-heal is comical at most, at best. And why on earth? Actually, somebody actually tell me why we have Swifties. Like we're Ornn, we don't need to actually be in melee range of Ashe Lux. Like it doesn't matter. Our focus is Graves and Darius. We're gonna be in their face anyways. Hmm. Let's look at Skarner. I think Skarner's is fine. I wonder what happened. Oh, hold on. Actually, yeah. I wonder what happened that where this is like a thing. Sorry. Where this is a thing where we're sitting on like three components that don't build into something. Like I imagine he was going for like a Sunfire. And maybe like pivot it out towards like a Knight's Vow. I think it's fine if he goes the Knight's Vow. I don't even think it's bad, even. Like, you just slap it on your Jinx, and then maybe she can actually pump out the damage you need. Um, but I think that if you already bought the damage, you just have to commit to it. Or actually just sell it. I mean, Azir build. We're just too low in gold for this to, like, even look good. I don't think Leandri's is bad. Yeah, it might be. I'm trying to think about what you would even, like, replace in that slot. Because, like, it's great consistent damage, like, for a front to back, which is what you want. Maybe Shadow Flame, but, like, we don't have the lead to justify Shadow Flame either. I think this is fine. I think that's okay. Jinx. I think Fandom Dancer isn't great here. I probably would go, like, I like RFC, maybe. Like, it's not a great item, RFC. But the thing is that when you have a comp that, like, so blatantly wants to poke you out, having the RFC lets you trade damage without, like, losing all of your HP. Like, maybe you don't get caught by a Lux Binding because you actually played at the range or whatever, right? And it starts up your lethal tempo pretty well. I think RFC is a solid choice instead of the Phantom Dancer. So yeah. And then Alistair going, Locket. It's not bad either. Yeah, I don't think Locket's too bad. I think Locket's the right choice here. Or actually, there's an argument for Zeke's Herald, maybe. Um, because then it lets your Jinx have extra damage. No, I don't. The thing is that you kind of need it for all the poke. Like if she gets ever caught by Lux Binding, you just pop Zeke's Herald and then pray that she survives. I don't know if it's enough, but it might have been enough if Lux didn't have as crazy of a lead as she does. And that's the point that you're building Locket, right? But that's just me. I think both of them going the Solstice Slay is the correct option here at 14.9. I can't imagine a world where you go Celestial Opposition for either of these comps. Oh, right. Ornn upgrades. I should talk about that. Bad? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, sorry. I forgot it changed. They changed it, actually. I would have done Edge of Finality here. And then I think Jaxo is fine, actually. Sorry, now that I'm remembering the way Ornn upgrades work back then. Jaxo is fine. Or I would have done Edge of Finality. And I think that's all the levels are waiting for. I don't see Ornn's level. But I'm gonna assume it's 14. And then like there's no point in watching the rest of it because they're all dead. Game's ended. Alright. Oh. Summoner spells. I should have done summoner spells, shouldn't I? I would have gone cleanse on Jinx. Yeah, that's it. And oh, Guardian on Braum. Okay. Game 2 draft. Let's look at this. Alright, so Gwen B1, interesting choice. I definitely don't think Scion R1 is a good response to it. Zen on R2 is good, I think. I think this is still in Sundered Sky, was like a really meta item. So having a blind Zen is great. It's not bad by any metric. Um, J4 B2, Nico B3, solid choices. Um, and then we have yeah, I don't think Gwen's like this is like a strong enough pick to justify B1ing her. It rubs me the wrong way. And then the Scion's just even oh, don't even get me started on the Scion. That actually gets me annoyed. But uh Lux is an answer into Nico. Not bad. Um Varus R4? Hmm. Varus R4 into Lucian Nami. Okay, so I don't like the Thresh here. Actually, no, I do like the Thresh here. Sorry. There were some things I wasn't considering. Like in this lane matchup, I don't think Thresh is optimal. But once you consider the Nico and the J4, it's probably pretty good. And you can also hook the Zen into being within range of Lucian Nami's crazy peeling capabilities. So game 2 draft, blue side's going to definitely play towards bot side. They're looking for really strong dominance in the early to mid through bot and mid. They're going to be looking for team fights where Lucian and Nami are able to dance around the skill shots of Varus and Lux. I would consider this an engage comp, just because uh, Nami ult, Nico ult, and J4 ult are fantastic tools that you can all use. Lucian culling is a really good way to force out an ultimate like the Xin Zhao ult, or even poke down key targets before a fight begins, letting you burst somebody out at the beginning of an engage. I imagine the culling would be used before the fight if when they happen, rather than after. As for red side, you're probably going to be looking for picks. Thresh hooks, Lux bindings, and then Xin Zhao probably going Sundered Sky for a knockup, which allows the other two to kind of just land the rest of their abilities and auto and etc. Scion is probably just going to be an answer to Gwen this game. I can't imagine Scion being good in this game at all, especially that early on. You can try to use him as a body block, I guess, or like you could try to like knock him into J4 before he EQs onto your team, or before Nico Hex Rocket flashes into your backline. Right, you're just the body in the way. Okay, yeah, sorry. Um, so yeah. So red lane swap / invade. The lane swap's good. I don't know about an invade though. Okay, so we go there. We slap a ward down. We're doing a lane swap with the Varus Thresh. I think that's good. I think they have a stronger level 1. I could be wrong. No, they don't. They don't have a stronger level 1. This is pretty solid. Yeah, I think this is a solid invade. Especially because we're lane swapping. Oh, okay, I see. Sion's just going to be a nuisance. He's not even going to go answer the bot lane because he has TP. He's just going to sit here and be a nuisance for J4. While Xin Zhao takes his stuff. This is really smart. Because the reality is that Sion's going to use his teleport to catch this wave. Whatever he misses, it's just going to be caught. Right? This wave is going to end up being caught by what's it called? By Sion. Assuming he survives this. But this is very smart. Yeah. Really well played. Wow, that's amazing. This is really smart. I don't know what elo this is, but this was a really well done play. Like, I don't see that play coming out of anybody below Diamond. I don't see that kind of play being done below Diamond. I don't think that like lower elo teams have the skills to do it. Um, should blue side back here? Let's have a look. Oh, I'm gonna watch through the whole thing this time. I swear. I swear. Can you even back here? Oh, sorry. It's blue side. Blue side back here. Okay, wait a second. We're gonna pick up the thing. I think Nami backs, and then Lucian J4 push the rest of the wave in. No, is that not what should happen? Because I don't think like if we see Lux, the only people missing are Varus Thresh, and we're gonna assume that they're backing and going back top. Because the game just started, it'd be really awkward to get a lane swap that early. Actually, wait, hold on. And so we'll look. Is a Varus and Thresh are off this whole time? I just want to see like timing wise. Would we have seen them? Yeah, we would have seen them by now. If they backed and went bot, we would have seen them by now. So it's safe to assume that Varus and Thresh are going up there. I don't know if I would have made um that analysis on the spot. I probably wouldn't have. Um, but I think it's safe to assume that Varus and Thresh are going back top because of how long it took, just timing wise. So I would say J4 and Lucian stay and push out that wave. Again, I wouldn't call it a guarantee. I think it's fine to back. It's gonna slow push back to you either way, so it's okay. But I would have just I would have probably shoved in that wave just to deny this. But that's just me. I think it's fine either way. Like, I think this is a decent lane state. What should blue side do over taking first turret? Okay, we've taken first turret. I don't even know if a swap is like a good option because like right now, where's Nami? Okay, Nami and J4 are up here. Uh, difficult question. You could say, because I don't know how much gold he's sitting on. Alright, 10 minutes, and he's not at first item. It's fair to assume that he's close to first item. He at least has a crit cloak on back. At least. And J4 doesn't have Sundered Sky on back, I think. Yeah, J4 definitely doesn't have Sundered Sky on back. Ooh. I don't think you can test anything on the top side. Maybe you just shove this out. I actually couldn't tell you. I feel like there's like a multiple answers to this. Where it's like, okay, if they dive here, they're definitely using resources to kill one. Right? Again, that's if they dive. They're definitely setting up for it. That's without a doubt. But if you push up, you're definitely getting caught by Sion. Right? Sion's gonna catch that wave. You could actually no. I have my answer. I have my answer now. Well, I want to watch the rest of the replay, and then give my answer. Okay. Let's see Lux. I feel like you can go mid and try to like take plates in the mid lane. Where you swap Nico and what's it called? Lucian Nami, so that way Lucian Nami can get the plates from mid lane. But that's really the only thing I can think of in regards to the best possible option. Two-part question. Oh, there's also the option of putting Nico in top lane and putting Gwen in the bot side to let her fight the Scion, but the reality of that is that they're just gonna swap it out anyways. Like they're just gonna swap out Scion for whoever after that. Um, but interesting. Just the thought itself. When they picked the Scion here, were they already thinking of doing a lane swap? Like the moment they saw the Gwen, were they just thinking, okay, we're just gonna lane swap this, right? It's not a bad idea. I think like that could have been like a part of their game plan that I just didn't consider because lane swaps just kind of got like cancer nerfed. Oh well, just a thought. Okay. What should red sequence look like in the next 2 minutes to keep advantages? Should they worry about the next dragon? Okay. So I think for this you have two options. Um, is that okay? So either one, you can try to shove this out. This is already shoved out. Yeah, so you can try to keep the um mid and top prio and get Herald to help accelerate your lead. It's not gonna like quote unquote keep your advantage. Like if you wanted to keep your advantage, you could just like stalemate this. But if you want to actually accelerate your advantage, which is what I'm assuming the question's asking, then you're going to push this wave in here, push this wave out here with let's see. Hold on. Either or actually, because they both have TP. Um Actually I don't even think TP is necessary. I mean you could take all five and then just come here, push out these waves, and then get Herald to accelerate the lead. And then should they worry about next dragon? Reality is that like if we're talking about 2 minutes ahead, you should worry about it for the sake that it's like an objective. But like your game's not ending if they get uh Chemtech soul. Oh, no, sorry, not Chemtech. Cloud Drake. Like your game's not ending if they get Cloud Drake, but in that same breath, it's like you could end up possibly like getting Herald and then being low in HP and then you need to back, right? Or we overextend here for a bit too long and now we can't get Dragon, right? Like Dragon's like super attainable, but without like enough information after we do this Herald, I don't think it's like a smart decision. Oh, we're all backing here, but yeah, that's probably what I'd say. Uh, they should do. They should get Herald, and then assess afterwards if they should get the next dragon. I don't think it's a worry like situation. I don't think it's like your game hinges on whether or not they get second like third dragon. I don't think it's not that important. Like getting dragons are nice, but they're not like you shouldn't throw your game over it. Like you can exhaust all your resources on Herald and then like go at dragon because you just feel like it, right? Big down team fight. What can both sides do better? Okay, so ooh, okay. So we started with a really nice calling from Lucian. I I would like Varus to have actually like used his Hail of Blades at the beginning and then used his E because that slows whoever gets hit and then he can hit up with the follow up Q. But Lucian is a really nice calling at the beginning of this fight. So, you're already starting with your Varus having to play on the back pedal. Just keep in mind. Okay, so they got Herald. That's pressure. Um, our Zinzao is very far extended. Oh, I don't like that E. Okay, so you've effectively on them off. Oh, is Lux gonna run through that? I hope not. All right, I think starting Dragon's a good idea. Okay, Varus is getting his HP back. Nice hook, nice hook. Oh, this E. Okay, so this E here, if this is used on Nico, that makes us just a huge difference because then your backline here is safe. So I think we definitely could have saved the E for this Nico here. Um, I don't know if somebody else does something to stop that. I don't know if it's like a Varus ult or anything of the sorts that stops that, but that would have been really helpful. Yeah. And then this is what I was talking about, where you have the engage going on. Yeah, we're locked up in J4 Cataclysm, getting hit by Nami ult, and I don't think, I mean that's the majority of her ults being used, but even then, it's a really strong wombo combo, and they should be. I think blue should be able to clean up unless I see any major mistakes. Okay. Who died there? Is it Nico? I think Nico died there. Nick shows. Oh, Zin died. Did Zin die? Oh, sorry, that's Jace. It's literally on the screen. I mean, J4. So hold on. How quickly did the Zin ult happen? It happened pretty much afterwards. Okay, I think it needs to happen like instantly. Uh, what is immune? I think yeah, the rest of the fight plays out as it should. Okay, now you just take Dragon is blue. That yeah, I've said my commentary on it like as it happened. Dash needs to hold his E so that now Nico can't just wombo combo you to death. Because that's what all that combo wants to do. It's just wombo combo, wombo combo, wombo combo. And if you allow the wombo combo to start, it's just gonna keep on happening. Like it's just gonna like the ults are just gonna pile on top of each other. Um, great Lucian culling. It kept Varus out of the fight. It kept him zoned off so that way he couldn't poke or use his ultimate to take Nico out of the fight. Because he was low and he had to back away. So that's really good. Right? I'm pretty sure that's what happened here, right? Yeah, Varus had ult. Um, so that's really good. Actually, out of curiosity, did Varus even use ult that fight? Genuinely curious. When did he use it? Oh, yeah, that's really unfortunate. It was just way too late, and it was on Gwen too, so it just didn't matter. Maybe if he hit somebody else, it matters, but like, it didn't. What can red side do better? Hmm. Actually, or blue side. What can blue side do better? Um, trying to think. J J4 getting caught out there's unfortunate, but I don't even know how you avoid that. Oh wait, they saw him walk into that bush. Okay, well, a little bit more like awareness is nice. And then I think J4 survives. And then Nico. Yeah, I feel like you have like two options with Nico where it's like you turn around and kill whoever this like kills Zin, so that way Zin doesn't kill you. In which case that's nice, but then like you don't kill whoever this was. Which if I think it's the Lux. Yeah, you don't kill the Lux. So that's kind of your drawback. Do you turn around and kill the Zin who's guaranteed to be dead? Or do you kill the Lux who isn't guaranteed to be dead? What? Should blue side turn or burn? And why? How did they set up for a turn?
Wait, you found lots of pillowcases?
Hold on, let's look at this. We have most of our Wombo combo up. The only thing we're missing is Tommy Hawk. And then they're missing Varus ult, Lux ult, Zin's dead. The answer should just be burn, no?
Just a blanket. Using, I think, the smaller sides.
I think smaller size would be better. Yeah, I would do the smaller size.
Green blanket.
I think you can just. What the fuck happened? Hold on.
It's gonna be hard to actually live, but it's a little bit light.
Ooh, we EQ right into Lux ult and we could have just moved. Right? Yeah, we EQ right into Lux ult. We see it actually, and we still choose to just move back into it. Yeah, Gwen isn't getting affected by this anyways. Let's see. I think we could have just like, do we have E off cooldown? I know this is a really weird question, but do we have E on cooldown? Because we can just like hold it. Yeah, we use calling on Scion, which isn't great. And nobody hits Varus at all. Yeah, I feel like the answer's burn.
So there's one there, right?
Right? Because like how low is burn
I
again?
want Fall Daddy too.
But like halfway?
I want
No.
Fall.
We are, yeah. Yeah, no, we can just burn. I feel like killing isn't an option. Like, we're hitting, realistically speaking, we're hitting Lux, Thresh, and Scion. These aren't our optimal targets. We want to be hitting Varus. Because, from what I can tell, this Varus is hitting like a truck. And I believe he has no gold. Right? Hold on. Back. Yeah, Varus is hitting like a truck because he's 7, 2, and 8. Yeah, our focus should be Varus. Our Wombo combo needs to be on Varus. So we should continue to burn. Right? We have Gwen immune, so it's fine. Like, Gwen's fine here. And then once Varus shows his face when he walks out of this river, because we see him Q. He hits Nami. Then we can actually focus our efforts onto Varus after we burn this. If we even want to fight, that is. Right? If they throw like a the Lux ult and the Lux E onto Gwen and Gwen's immune, then it's perfectly fine. Yeah, you can take the fight. Because Varus ult isn't up. And Lucian ult is. If you stun Varus at all here, and Lucian just cullings him, yeah, this fight's over. Runes, builds, anything about. Hob is not the way. I love Hob. It feels really great to play, but I do know Conqueror's better. At this point, like in these fights, they're gonna be extended, and you're gonna be low HP. You're gonna need the extra AD from Hob, especially with your build. Like you go Sundered, you go Cleaver, your Conqueror's just better. Grasp is fine on Scion. Comet's fine on Lux. If we're going lethality Varus, yeah, Hob. I think Hob is fine on Varus, and Aftershock is gonna on Thresh. Nothing to note on the what's it called? Blue side. I think they all have the correct summoners, correct runes. I'm trying to think about like what would be the best option, summoners wise on. I think you can make an I don't know if you can make an exhaust argument for Thresh. Yeah, there's an exhaust argument for Thresh, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if because I know that Nami E works in a really silly way, so I don't know if exhaust works. If you E Lucian, does the Nami E also get his damage load? That's an interaction I'd have to look into. But I think that's the only like argument you can have for Thresh maybe taking exhaust. Um, I don't know why you go Frostfire Gauntlet on Gwen. Zanya's is probably just better. Just a thought. Um, I would go Shojin instead of Sterix. Maybe. Because like I don't like Thresh's CC and Silence CC doesn't get affected by tenacity. So not as good. I understand the idea where it's like, you go in, you don't want to get like one shot immediately, but it's just wasted stats. Um Level 16 it's fine, but I'm assuming that's built second. So you're talking about sitting on like 40 80. Especially when you already had the lead, because they had the lead early and they had a really good team fight. Um Nico's build is fine. I maybe would have done Rabadon's. It looks like she's going for Shadow Flame on that last build. But I would probably do Rabadon's. Varus. I mean Lucian. Oh shit, fucking whole build. It looks fine. I don't know. Cause like I think GA last is good. I think GA last is a good call. Yeah, I don't see any issues with the build. I wouldn't go what's it called? Battle Song here. I probably would have her go I'm trying to think what would be a better option. I don't think Shirley is the answer. I definitely don't think Shirley is the answer. I don't think it's Battle Song. Redemption. Redemption would have been nice. Because then you can slap that onto the middle after your team engages. And then you'd 100% get the damage from Redemption. Oh, yeah, Redemption's so nice there. I think Redemption's the way to go. I think Redemption second. Instead of Battle Song. Because I don't think the movement speed does anything. If your team's getting in, it's off of like a Hex Belt, Flash, Nico, or J4 ult to initiate. It's not like Battle Song in when walking up. And then as for red side builds, I'm trying to think. I didn't despair. Yeah, this is Sion build fine. Zen build. I don't think Eclipse is like a comp item. It's like a great Zen item, but I don't think it's a comp item. Lux build. I would not have gone Crypt Bloom. I don't see why you need the haste on Lux. I think like Lux haste is fine as it is. And there really isn't like MR being built, so you can go Rabadons or Shadow Flame instead. I think that's like way better. And then Varus build opportunity. I like to see it. That's great. And then I think this is good. That's great. Shirelia's. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's good. I'm gonna say it's good. I don't like Shirelia's as an item. I think it's like not great. Personally, I don't think the slow really does much for you either. Because like once they're in there and they're gonna use their abilities to come towards you, not with movement speed. So maybe there's an argument for I don't know. Lord Doms. Like you're not a crit ADC, but I think that the Lord Doms like flat pen, like the percent pen is good enough to justify going it over Cerelia's. And then it looks like he's going for GA last, which I would agree with as well. Thresh items look good as well. You have Gwen healing, you have Nami healing, and you have J4 healing from Standard Sky. So I think Thresh has the right itemization. He's the only source of Groove's wounds, honestly, but I don't know if he applies it the best. I think maybe even Lux does it better than him getting the Thornmail, but I don't think it's bad. No, sorry, Bramble Vest, not Thornmail. I think it's fine to have it, but I think that Lux is the best applier of Grievous Wounds, not him. Solstice Slay is good, and Dreammaker obviously for enchanters. Those are fine. I don't see anything like too egregious. I would probably change out the Eclipse for something else, and instead of Starix, gone for Shojin. But that's just me. Right, because Shojin helps you accelerate your lead. And I wouldn't have gotten Frostfire, I got one on Quad. Alright. And then this is the last one. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so red, blue side draft. Aatrox's good. Aatrox into Ornn, that's nice. It's not bad for it's like a fairly neutral lane, I guess. I think it's slightly Ornn favored, which is why you picked up the Ornn there, but I don't think that you're crying as an Aatrox player. Let's see. Go Ornn Volley, solid picks into Wukong Talia. I don't know if Wukong Talia is the combo I would have gone with. I feel like there's other junglers there that probably are a better slot in than Wukong. But again, you account for player comfort, and player champion mastery. Ori solid here. Okay. Pretty simple ways that these comps want to play. This one wants to skirmish. And basically play on the split. Right? You're probably gonna see something like a oh, let me change the color really quick, just so that way I can like draw the lanes. Right. That's my best, but like you're probably gonna get something like a 1-3-1 or like a like a 2-2-1, something like this. That's probably how I imagine that Goosehead wants to play it, where they kind of split their focus, or even like a 3-1-1. To basically create opportunities. Again, like obviously this is like a little bit like topside lean, but it's whatever. That's besides the point. It's like kind of how the lane assignments are. And essentially what they want to do is create opportunities where they can essentially just push towers based off numbers and force fights to happen. Otherwise, this team gets their 5v5 at major objectives like Baron and Dragon, right? And again, like in the same breath, this team wants to take their 5v5, and this team wants to essentially mitigate their individual power as champions, right? Because these are individually powerful champions. They all have like, I don't want to say 1v9 capability, but they have like 1v2 capability, each of them, right? And then Talia has great roam, so she can like transfer from mid to top if you guys try to collapse on one. And you know, Ezreal ults from afar as well. And then obviously you're gonna have your Bard and Wukong basically playing the wings. You're gonna have Bard and Wukong playing the wings of any extended lanes. Runes? I mean, Conk. There's like a major argument. I know it's like uncommon, but you can probably get like unsealed. Unsealed, or like you can just like default into grasp. Tried and true PTA. Oh boy, how fun. Regular mode PTA. Because this is when PTA gave the damage amp rather than giving it to yourself. Wukong Conk. Oh boy. I would like to see a phase rush on this Talia. I know obviously we're talking about like 1v9 capabilities, and I think that giving Talia phase rush allows her to navigate the skill shots of these three, and then lets her kite away from these two. I think phase rush gives her that. Build-wise, you might need to, like, take a little bit of tank trade, maybe, like, Leandries. Go Seraph's Leandries, maybe, perhaps, possibly. Um, and then, as for how Talia have to play the Talia versus Orianna matchup, you basically want to get the shove and use your ultimate to create pressure in other lanes. Because Orianna does kind of, I don't want to say like outscale in the damage sense, because I think that they scale very similarly in regards to raw damage numbers, but I think that Orianna's utility scales harder in this game in particular, because I think Talia E scales really hard, but it depends on the enemy comp, and I don't think that the red side has the comp where Talia's E scales with the game. Alright. Oh, sorry. Why, sorry. Oh. Sorry, it's a little bit late when I'm recording this, on top of the fact that my throat is a little dry, so I want to get something to drink, but I don't know what. That explains why I think that what he did is bad. So, right now we have next to no mana. We can pop our cookies for one. We should pop our cookies a little bit earlier because we're really low on mana and HP. And level 4 is an Aatrox power spike. So, essentially, just before, right? So this is the before. We gotta have like a step process. We gotta do a step by step process before we think, before we commit to anything. One, like this is like a who, what, where, when, why, right? We gotta start with the who, right? So we're playing Ornn, and we're playing Aatrox. Aatrox wants to get a lead, right? He wants to accelerate, and Ornn wants to stall. Ornn's like a giant brick wall, right? So do we have to force anything? No. Right? Do we have to let Aatrox like get leads? No, we want to stop that. We're a wall. Right? Our job is to stop Aatrox from getting a lead. That is Ornn's job. At least within the lane phase. And then also we gotta consider power spikes, right? So Aatrox is a really strong power spike at level 4 because he gets 2 levels into his Q. Right? His Q is a very strong ability. Right? So his Q2 is gonna be way stronger than your W2. Right? Because like he gets 3 casts of this. He's actually leveling 3 abilities. Not actually, but like you get the point. So right now, Aatrox is in a stronger position, right? And just by the state of the champions, right? And then let's go where. Right? Okay. So in terms of this, Aatrox has prio. Right? Aatrox has priority. Our jungler's on the other side of the map. And we don't know where Wukong is. Right? Obviously, we have Fog of War up, but, like, we don't know where Wukong is. Okay, when... I don't think it really matters, right? Realistically speaking, like, this state is gonna happen regardless of the state of the game. Or, like, not state of the game, sorry. When it happens in the game. But for the sake of this, we're talking about early game, right? This is his power spikes. When? He just hit his power spike. That's the when. Why? Why are we taking this trade? Right? What does it benefit us? Okay, we're going to trade his HP. But what does that do for us? Does it set it up for a gank? No. Right? Volley's backing right now. Oh, Thrush Rooms? Is that what we're setting up for? No, because we're not going to be able to kill Aatrox. We might be able to kill Aatrox, but you're low on mana. Right? It's an unnecessary thing to prep for, especially when you don't have him here. right? This isn't even a guarantee. He can just back here or whatever. So, sorry. Um, so we've established a why. We don't have a why. But we're just taking this trade because we can. And then how? Right? So now how is like how does this play out? Okay. So he missed a Q. We're gonna walk in. Nice. We're gonna dodge. But then after that, right, we W. But we don't even W to hit him. We W these minions. Right? Now alternatively, we can either hold W, right? And then on this pullback or this knockup, we just hit our W. Right? That way he doesn't get the pull. So we get to walk away, we took the wave. Now, he's in front of us. Now we have to walk back here. So now, we didn't even hit our W. We didn't hit any of our combos. Right? Because we had no mana. We still haven't popped our cookies. Right? And all we got were like maybe 2 minions that we would have gotten if the shoved out anyways. Oh, and Thrush back. So we weren't even playing for that either. Right? So you kind of have to like 1, 2, 3 this. Okay? 1. Right? Why am I doing this? Or no. Sorry. Every time you go for a trade, you gotta be like, okay, what's happening around me? I'm not gonna write that full thing. We're just gonna write what, right? And you have the checklist, right? Okay, you gotta look at our map. We're gonna look at the minions. We'll look at the champion. We're gonna hit tab. We're gonna look at the scoreboard, right? Does he have more items or whatever, right? We have two armor. Okay, that's great. Oh, we have 2 cookies. We can use it to heal ourselves, right? That kind of stuff. Right? 2. Why? Why are we doing this trade? Right? Okay. Well, we just want to take HP off. Okay, but are we doing so at the expense of our own HP? Are we setting up for a jungler to come gank? Or our support to come gank? Right? Are we setting up for a kill? Or are we denying him minions? Right? What are we trading here? Right? Why are we trading? And then 3. Okay. So we've established that we have a good why, right? Which we don't in this scenario. But let's say we do. You gotta ask yourself how. Okay. How do I play this out? Okay, he hits his Q. Alright, I get knocked up, and then he hits his Q2. Right? Oh, look at that. He hits me with the W. Alright, as the W pulls me in, I'm gonna W him. Right? No W pull, he doesn't hit his Q3. I auto. We get the brittle, and then I can QE him, and then I walk away. Right? Or even, to be honest, I don't even think you E him. To be honest, I think you just hit the Q and then you walk away. And again, that's assuming you have the mana for it, which we don't, because we didn't look at our inventory and we didn't say, oh, I should probably pop this cookie here, right? But yeah, that's probably how I would have done it. That's like, you have to thought process before you take a trade. It's a 3-step process. Yeah, that's how I would explain it. Right, walk him through what's going on, have him like get an understanding of you need to, I know I just gave him like the what, why, how for trading, right? Because that's what's going on. We're teaching him how to trade well, but I also want him to understand what's going on. I want him to understand that what he's doing is wrong, right? He needs to know that this is wrong, this is incorrect, and you kind of need to reinforce that. Like, you don't. The thing is that when it comes to the concept of punishment, in my opinion, and obviously you don't like really punish your players, but the thing is you have to create a negative feeling, right, around mistakes, and not in a way that makes them feel bad about like themselves, right, but makes them feel bad about the mistake, right? So let's say, for example, okay, we lose like 300 gold here because of this, right? Because we got to back off, right? I got to drill them home that they're missing a cloth armor, right? Because of that. And then maybe I'll like forward to another point in time where they actually would have gotten a completed item because of that 300 gold. You gotta create like a negative feeling towards having this trade happen to them, but you don't do it in a way that demeans them, right? There has to be like there's like a graph here, sorry, right, of like negative, um, positive. Actually, wait, hold on, sorry. Um, honestly, there's like confidence and accountability. Sorry, this is how I'll do it. Right, sure. Right, so like you have to kind of create this line here where they want to be confident in their skills. You want them to be here, right? It's almost like a quadrant, right? Um, these are your good players. They're going to take accountability for their own mistakes, and they're going to be confident in what their champion can do, right? Um, and these are going to be your good players, right? I'll put a G here, and then um, if you have no accountability and all you have is confidence, you have ego players, right? People who don't know that they're making mistakes and then blame it on the state of the game or blame it on other people or anything of the sort, right? They're not taking accountability for what they do. And players normally dance along this line right here, right? This is just kind of the way the game works. Um, that like a majority of your players are going to dance between this line here. Um, and then you're going to have the players that have like no confidence and like, but they take accountability for their mistakes. And these are like the doubters. I'm going to say they doubt themselves. They doubt their own plays. They might even make a right decision, but because they're not like snappy with their choice, they hesitate. They don't actually do the thing that nets them a good trade. Like when you VOD review with them later, they're gonna know what they should have done, but they don't because they lack the confidence to do so. They feel like they don't understand the game, even though to some degree they do, right? Or like maybe they just feel like it's just hindsight or something like that. Like most of the time they can actually even come to their own conclusions, but they just don't. And then these are just like the newer players where they don't know what mistakes they're making, and they don't have confidence either. So this is just your noobs, right? And like chances are, if you deal with anybody who's been playing the game for like more than 3 months, they're gonna fall into either here or here, right? Normally, smarter noobs will end up here, and dumber noobs will end up here. So yeah, uh, that's how I would teach that, and then a little bit of insight into like how I teach just as a whole. I know that wasn't like entirely necessary, but I felt like it was important to like really set up the idea that I need to reinforce something negative for them to gain something positive. I want the learning experience to be positive, but I want that mistake to be like a negative, right? Almost like where they actively avoid doing that mistake because they feel bad when they do it. It's almost like missing a cannon minion, right? You always feel like shit when you miss a cannon minion because you've conditioned yourself into being like shit. I missed like 90 gold for no reason, right? In that case, it'd be like, oh, I lost HP for no reason. HP is a resource just as much as gold is. Um, how do you tell red side players to improve the sequence? Okay, cool. Let's see. It's really hard to tell things when it's zoomed out. I'm really sorry. I wish I could like give a little bit of a better read on what's going on, but it's really far zoomed out. Okay. Yeah. See, I think all right, so yeah. So, all right, so I think we do. I want to start with the positives. Let's start with the positives, right? So from here, we do a good job of recognizing that we should move down here, right? Uh, both the volley and the thrash. Sorry, it's really hard to say. Both volley and thrash do a good job of moving down here, right? But then it's at this point, right? If I could pause the video, that'd be nice. Sorry. Let's go like I think here. Maybe further back. Okay, right here, we should actually be looking to just zone, right? Thrash move down here. It needs to be this kind of pathing. Like you can't like come down here and like be a nuisance or whatever. Down. You gotta move around here, and we create a wall here almost. Um, and that wall helps us kill all the minions here, and focus on this tower, right? We essentially just want to cut them off from the gold, right? We've set up the bodies here. Let's just cut them off from the gold. That should be the goal here. Instead, it looks like Volley just turns around and wants to start fighting, which is just I think the incorrect move because this is gonna push out. This is essentially just a full wave here, and it's under tower too, so this is like 100% gonna push out. So I think that's the incorrect decision. And then the fight actually ends up being good. All right, okay, like it's good to back off here, but I don't see any pings from Oriana. Right, Talia's off the map, and we're fighting bot lane. This needs to be an instant missing ping. Right, I need to see spam pings, or even just like spam ping on their location. You guys are in voice call. You guys can talk it out. Talia missing takes 2 seconds. Even if you think Talia backed, just say Talia missing. Right? You just gotta say it. The communication is just so important because it keeps them aware, right? Because like the reality is Talia probably could have backed, right? But what happens if Talia backs and then just comes here, right? You don't know that. It's better to say Talia missing. And then this shouldn't have happened. And like you guys played the fight well over here, but after you backed off, like no matter what, this was gonna be difficult. Right, on top of that, we're fighting in the minion wave. That isn't great. Again, if we just created this blue wall, we ended up killing the wave here. This wouldn't even be a thing. We wouldn't have even like this would have been full HP. We just walk up and kill him. Right? It all stems from just being way too hair trigger over here. Right? There we go. Like most of these things, it all just stems down to like most of like the way that League plays out is it's as much of a macro game as it is mechanical game, right? Because like we could talk about all we want about like how he missed his Q here, or I don't know. I didn't even know what other mechanical mistakes happened because it just doesn't matter, right? We do this, we force them off of like, let's say, 200 gold. Right, we made a small lead. We've actually even got plates for our Felios. We've taken this wave here, which is like maybe another 300 gold, and now we're at a half a K gold up for our Felios. Right? That's amazing. Right? We have an extra dagger on top of Ezreal. Maybe even more so if we manage to actually catch a couple more minions. Right? It really depends on the situation, but the reality is that that's a net benefit for us. On top of that, we've zoned him off of XP. Right? We're level 7. She's level 6. And that's gonna mirror in the Bard as well. I know he just died, but that it's a snowball effect, right? There's so many things that happen in the game that like even a small decision where it's like we just don't engage here ends up having crazy beneficial effects that you just don't see. Right? And again, it always brings us down to the what, the why, and the how, right? The decision-making process, what's going on in the map, why are we doing this, how are we going to do it, right? So what's going on in the map, we have wave pushed, as Bard are out in the open, that's great, okay? The what is looking good, right? Actually, I don't even know if the what was looking all that great. Let's see. I'll just double check. Yeah, the what was looking pretty good, right? Wukong's all the way back here until he's all the way over there, right? The what was looking good. But now we gotta ask the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we overextending for 300 gold? For 300 gold benefit, right? When we can do nothing and get 500, right? Plates plus denial plus wave, right? So what? Again, it's a checklist. What, why, and how, right? There are situations where you can go, okay, we have the what, we have the why, and then the how is just like, okay, we don't have alts, so we can't, right? Which again maybe falls under what, but there's also like cases where it's like convoluted how we're gonna do it. Like, oh, Nidalee just needs to weave a spear through like 5 people and hit an ADC. Wow, right? Like, there are situations like that as well. But yeah, that's that. We should have just created the line here or here. Actually, sorry, it's really hard to see the bush, but that's probably the advice that I would give and how I would give it too. Right, bring it back to a core concept of how they do their decision making is important. Right, when it's a step process, it's a lot easier to do rather than, oh, this is the right answer. Because the thing is that like once they create a process and they do it every single time, that's just how they're going to do it, and it's not going to be a process. It's going to be how their mind works and how they tackle problems. What does Blizzard need to do in the next 5 minutes to get back in the game? Okay, we're 3K down. Ricky down with 30 seconds up on Dragon. We have Wukong ult. We don't have Tilly ult. They don't have Ori ult, which is actually really important to note. Next 2 minutes. I think you forego Dragon. Right? I think you forego Dragon here, right? And you rotate up to Grubs, right? Because the enemy bot lane is stronger and the jungler is really strong, so you forego Dragon, get Grubs with you're actually decently like well proportioned topside, right? Because like Volley's gonna be here, right? That's a 2v3 and you have smite. So get Grubs while Dragon's going on. It should be up right now. Yeah, it's up right now. And then you use that to make sure that you guys have waves pushed and try to get the tower plates to use that. I would focus on the top lane power on the top lane plates. If you want to play towards your strongest lane, that's going to be Aatrox. Or Aatrox, Wukong are strongest. They're the ones who should be up here pressuring these tower plates. That's what I'll do for the next 2 minutes. And then, because you've set up the tower plates and stuff like that, you're going to be able to actually get full vision here. Bard will have to move up and roam and stuff, but that's just Bard things anyways. That's how I'd do it. I know I haven't finished the clip, but that's just what I'd do. Just looking at this, I can't imagine they do anything else. Obviously, you're going to clear the wave at the bottom here, but before any of that happens. Yeah, Wukong should just not do these Krugs. What can red do to accelerate the map state? Let's see. Um, Ace rushed the top side to zone Aatrox off waves. They did get the grubs. They're going to want to pressure this tower, as I mentioned earlier. So having Aphelios Thresh go top lane and sending one bot, because Ezreal's already pretty far behind, is going to be a really good idea. Ornn's going to get his levels either way, which is the only thing you should be playing for as Ornn in your current state of the game. And then Aphelios and Thresh can go ahead and take these plates. Because, again, at the moment, the 75% thing is in existence. And if you have Aphelios Thresh, then you can pressure this, get the vision here, and get Herald. I know it's like pretty much the exact like same thing I said that like Blue Shy should do to save their game, but like kind of argument this tower was still up, right? I don't know what happened which made this tower fall. Right, I think there's like a 1 minute period in between. Maybe they took a bad trade and they had to back off because Ezreal's full HP now. And like partial, only part of his mana's gone, so I couldn't tell you what happened in between that caused the game state to be like it is. Because I think Wukong, maybe Wukong spent too much time, like he did his Krugs and then came up did this. I couldn't tell you. I can only theoreticals. How does Blue improve the power tower dive? Let's see. Okay, Bard's got to be the first to hit. What the? Wait, hold on. So they do this. They get her flash, which is nice. But now you got to be careful for the Oriana Q. Ah, it's so far zoomed out. It's really hard to see. Wait, hold on. Is why is Talia the one taking the aggro? It shouldn't be Talia being the one taking the tower aggro right off the bat. I don't know why we used Ezreal ult. Unnecessary. It's too much of a wind up. Bard should have been the first one to hit. And then outside of that, it's fine. It's just not clean because Talia is the first one to hit. Like if it's a Bard, for example, and he just plays at the edge, like he just hits on one Q and then plays at the edge afterwards, just tanking tower shots, it works out just fine. But unfortunately, Talia was the one to take the first hit, and as a result, it had the tower shots on her. Hold on, what was the question? This works so quickly for this bear play. Let's see. Rush at the front. Or he probably should have already been there. He's going way too deep. Ornn's going way too deep, but outside of that, it's fine. Rush plays here. Ornn plays here. And you're chill maxing. right? The only thing you saw was that the Wukong was over here, and if you keep Thresh here, there's no issue whatsoever. Post game. All right. I think this is before the Aatrox effects, so I don't think that Sundered is good here. The Aatrox like HP scalings, so I don't think Sundered's good here. Cleaver's fine. Tabby's is good. As for Wukong, I would not have gone Eclipse. I would have gone Trinity Force. Talia fine. Ezreal, I'm gonna say like yeah, probably should have gone Trinity Menemune. And then Bard. I'm gonna say that's fine as well. Say Locket's fine. Ornn, Shock Show. No, I would definitely not have gone Shock Show. The only threats in the mid game were Aatrox Wukong anyways, so I would have just went for the armor. And then I would have upgraded the Sunfire Cape. I would have gone for something with like HP like a Knight's Vow and slept on Aphelios because he's that strong. Right? Because I don't think is that yeah, or Thresh doesn't have Knight's Vow. Somebody should have Knight's Vow in this situation. I don't. Shadow Flame's probably fine because we have a lead and they're all fairly squishy. Aphelios is building correctly. Is he? I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, I think he's building correctly. I think. I know that there's a reality where you can go, Static Shiv, IE, and then PD, or then Kraken, and then Lord Doms. But I think that given the state of the game, I think it's fine to go PD. Just because like there isn't many armor stackers, and you had such a dominant early game that going Kraken first is the correct idea. And then Thresh build is fine too. Oh, yeah, Orange should have played a lot more passive because he had unsealed spellbook. I should mention that earlier. This is right. This is standard. This is right. Actually, wait. This is when. Yeah, no, this is correct. Conqueror. Yeah, sounds about right. I don't know about Fleet Footwork. I think this is wrong. I also think that maybe Exhaust is good on Thresh here. Actually, now that I'm looking at it. Barrier is better than Heal on Ezreal. Then this is fine. They did go phase rush. Yippee! So there's like there's probably like an actual like misplay, like in terms of like what the player actually did to cause it to be like that. Because like, yeah, the build seems fine. The summons and wounds seem fine. Probably just a misplay that happened in the game. And that's all.